Before I can start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Faryal Tahir. I'm a training specialist at SG Group International. I do software trainings and demonstrations for all our clients and existing customers. About us, SG as a company, we are multidisciplinary companies with three business lines. What we deal with is inspections, which is the first one. The second is the software, and then we also deal with land development. So when we talk about inspections, so we are located in Dubai and the Middle East region. We are RERA certified. We have a team of engineers who do property inspections, building inspections, property condition audits, etc. So if you are interested to know more about our inspection business, I'll just link down the website and you can just check that part of our business. The second is the software business that we have is the computerized maintenance management software, which we call as Aladdin. So the page for Aladdin is already displayed on the screen. You can see the website. Aladdin is a tool that is used for maintenance. So if you are looking for tracking your asset, it could be achieved by doing preventative maintenance, corrective maintenance, reactive maintenance. So that could be done in Aladdin software itself. There are people who are using a lot of paperwork. There are engineering maintenance rooms I have seen that mostly the people are doing all these kind of jobs still on paper. So if you're looking for digitalizing all that information, Aladdin is the software where you can do all these things. We also offer modules such as client and subcontractors contract management. So if you have clients and you want to manage their contracts, you can do it through Aladdin itself. Even subcontractors, if you want to manage their contracts, you can do it through Aladdin itself. We also offer different features like asset tagging. So what is asset tagging? Basically, you tag your assets. There is a small vinyl tag or a different kind of tags depending on the unit that you want to tag. You can just print the information of the asset and tag it. The tagging is very useful. It can help you in reconciling your assets and keeping a track of all the information. You can track it through your mobile phone. So when we say we have Aladdin, we have mobile applications and we have web application as well. So the flexibility to use Aladdin is not only limited to sitting on the laptop and just maintaining your asset and doing the maintenance work. We have mobile applications as well. So using the mobile applications, you can track your asset while you are on the go. When you're working in your field, you don't have to sit on the laptop. You can just open the mobile application and scan the asset tag, which is on the asset itself, and everything is available on your fingertips. So that's the flexibility we are offering on our mobile application. Last not the least, we are into land development. We have a huge community and a compounder in Saudi Arabia called as Carolina Palms, which is a worth of 89 million dirhams. If you want to read about Carolina Palms, there is a separate website which will give you an idea of what our business is about. But today we are only talking about Aladdin. Our Aladdin is our computerized maintenance management software. I will just show you a glimpse of what are the features we have and how you can use Aladdin, how you can configure your assets, how you can work and maintain your assets, how your dashboard will look like, how the reports will look like, and how you can manage it on your fingertips using the mobile phone. So although it's a very, the information is quite huge, we have a very limited time. So I'll try to show you what is the most important thing in Aladdin, which might be beneficial for you all. So if you want to read about Aladdin, we have a link over here which says more about Aladdin CMS. So you can just read what are our clients who are using it already, information about our company, what is our aim, and yep, what kind of solutions we having, what kind of industry we are targeting. We have a lot of industries from healthcare, from facility management, logistics, education. We have clients and we have case studies from these type of industries, which can give you an example of what kind of clients we are handling at the moment. So The demo that I'm going to give you today is not an industry specific demo. Okay, so I know there are a lot of you who will be attending from a real estate company, who will be from healthcare, who will be from logistics. So the demo is basically a very generic demo. It will give you just a rough idea of what we have. If you want to discuss your case and if you want to discuss using your industry, you can send me an email separately, and we can have a one-to-one conversation on how we can cater your needs and how it will work out for you. I'm just opening the Aladdin URL. Okay, let me give you an example that we are hosting our database on Microsoft Azure in the cloud. Okay, so when I say in the cloud, it means that it's literally on the cloud. You don't have to install any CDs, you don't have to have any software that you have to install on your system. It's all in the cloud. So for example, for those people who don't know what the cloud is, it's basically, for example, you're using social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all these websites just have a URL, the website link, which you click, and it gives you a page to enter your username and password, and automatically you can sign in. So for that, you don't need to have a special laptop. You don't need to have a high configuration computer, CPU with a high specs. So you just need a simple laptop where you can just put the link in the browser. You can use Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari. You can use any browser. Just enter the URL link, and there you go. It opens up. You just enter your username and password, and you can just use it. So no need of any installation, no need of any maintenance as well. There is no software integrations, nothing. All the maintenance work is done from our team. So we have a support team that is located in Dubai, and those people will take care of any issues, any problems that you have. Okay, and the flexibility we have is in the mobile and the web. So you can use it either on the phone, if you have an Apple phone or an Android phone, and if you have a laptop, you can just log in. All you need to have is just an internet connection. If you have a good internet connection, you can just log on to the website and it opens. Okay, so it's quite safe and secure. All our data which is hosted is quite safe and secure, so you don't have an issue of installing it. Okay, and also I want to tell you, if you're going to give the Aladdin access to someone else, like your clients, your subcontractors, no need of anything on installing on their machines. You just have to give them the link. What is the link? Like www.aladdin-demo.azurewebsite.net. So this is actually a demo website that I'm using, but when you come on board with us, we'll give you your special URL link however you like, and that link is the one that you can use. The interface looks like this, that you need to log in. Very easy, very simple. If you're managing multiple properties, you just need to select the property, enter your username and password, and click on the login button. That's very easy. Okay, so before I can start, I need to give you a small explanation of what kind of logins do we have. So we have two types of logins in Aladdin. Okay, the first one is a normal one, which you can see on the screen. Okay, as an administrator, you just log in and you can open the database and start working on it. So the first one, the most important one, is the super admin login. How do we enter into super admin login? So this is just one access we give to our clients for managing the user credentials of their database. Okay, so wow, that's a good thing. You don't have to worry about resetting your password, giving us a call, and resetting and creating users. You can do it yourself. So for example, you have creating your own database. This is just a database that I'm going to open. Okay, a company which gives you all the information about name, date, address, country, time zone, city. All the information is preloaded. Then you define the roles in the system. So whatever information you're seeing on the screen is just a demonstration data that I have already preloaded in order to give you an idea of how it is. What are the roles? For example, the role like operational manager, maintenance manager, you define the role and then you set permissions. What are the permissions? The permissions are given basically to these roles of how they're going to access the Aladdin. So this is your choice. If you're creating a role, you give them customized permission to access different modules. Okay, so let me take an example of this is the training specialist. Can you see the training specialist role on the screen? I'm going to open the permission. This is my role basically. So these you can see on my screen are the modules in Aladdin. So in Aladdin, we have modules like the dashboard, we have work orders, we have PPMs, we have asset module. So what you can do is you can give them customized access where they can view the assets, view the module, they can add anything to the module, they can modify any information in the module, or they can delete the information. So it is really, if you want the person to just view the dashboard and don't add anything and don't modify anything and don't delete anything. So it's just a view access for the dashboard. In the work order, you don't want this person to see the work order. So you're just completely removing this person with the work order. Okay, so this is a customized permissions that you can give to each and every role. So for example, if I have an operational manager, suppose for example, facility manager, operational manager, maintenance manager, I want to give that person a few full access. Full access means the full permissions to access all the modules and make any changes, and he can delete or add or do whatever he wants. So what you can do is just check all these buttons, very easy. Just see whichever module you want to give him, or whichever things you want to hide, you don't want to show, you can just remove the permission. Okay, so this is customizing permission, and it's quite a long list where we're giving you a lot of flexibility of how you can customize the permission for each and every person who wants to come and see Aladdin. So if you want to give it to higher management, maybe you can just give them a dashboard and a view access where they can open and see what's there on the dashboard, and the rest of the thing you can just remove it in order to save the data. So for example, you have your technicians, you don't want to give them dashboard, you don't want to give them scheduling, you can just give them work order module, and they can just work on the work orders like PPMs and work orders, and the rest of the thing could be hidden. So it depends on how you want it. The permissions could be customized. Similarly, the dashboard is also customizable. These are basically modules. These are basically KPIs. So when I log in into Aladdin, I will show you what are these KPIs. So these are just small KPIs that comes on the dashboard. What you can do is you can rearrange these columns by just moving them. You can either show them or you can hide them. Okay, so this is also the flexibility of designing your own dashboard, which will give you all the graphs and charts of what's going on inside Aladdin. So you can manage this from here. The third thing is, once the company is defined, you can create users. You can create users yourself. Okay, if you don't want us to create the users, you can just come here, enter the username, email address, password, the role, phone number, and you can create the users yourself in the system. You can manage their passwords themselves. For example, if you see this particular user, which is just a sample, you can see you can just name him, put his mobile number, give him a role, username, passwords. If it's an active, if he's working in the company or the person left the company, you can just change it yourself. You don't need to call this the IT at the back end to get this configured. So we give you this super admin access where you can manage the whole user credential on your own. Okay, so once based on the licenses that you have purchased, you can create users yourself and give them customized permission. Very simple. If you want to extract a report on how many users you have, what is the user role report that you want to generate, when is the person logging into the system, when is he using the system, you can generate the report from the reporting module over here. So this is the Aladdin Super Admin login access. Okay, so once we have defined our users, we have given them usernames and passwords, now we are ready to go inside Aladdin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log out from Super Admin, and I'm going to log in as a normal administrator who has an access and want to see Aladdin. Okay, so how do you do it? Again, same URL, nothing changes, just select your company. So I'm going to select my company. I'm going to enter my email address, my password, and I'm going to log in. So once you click on the login button, what will happen is it is going to take you inside Aladdin. So now automatically first what happens is the dashboard loads up. Okay, so the dashboard loads up and there is a status notification bar that pops up at the corner, which you can minimize, and whenever you refresh the page, the status notification comes up. What is the status notification? Very easy, similar to the the social media applications like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You receive notifications, correct, of what are the activities that are going on inside the database. Similarly, whatever the work that are being performed live by the technician, all that information pops up in the status notification. So you can just see, okay, the status is changed to scheduled, the status is changed to in progress. What is this? This is a work order on a smart TV. This is a work order on electrical kettle. This is in Dubai Marina building on the ground floor. This work is working on the Marina Plaza, and this is being scheduled. So these kind of notification pops up on the screen for the maintenance manager or the operational manager to keep a track of what's going on. The date and time is also mentioned over here. So the status notification bar actually helps you to keep a track of what are the live activities going on right now. Okay. So if you don't want to see this, just click on the cross button and it goes down, minimize. Every time you refresh the page, it comes up. So this is the dashboard. When you log in and as an admin and you have a permission to see the dashboard, this is how it looks like. So I'm going to just put up a filter, load all the information that we have. If you see the dashboard looks quite colorful. The reason is why, because I've been using it for quite a long time. All the information that I have is I am processing it in Aladdin. So the more I use Aladdin, the more I'm interacting with Aladdin, the more colorful these dashboards are going to look like. So let's take an example. See, look how many KPIs do we have? These are all automatically generated on the dashboard based on what's inside the system. Okay, if you don't enter any data inside Aladdin, it will not give you any information. The data will not be available. Okay, so this is what it looks like. If you remember, I showed you that this is customizable. You can move these graphs front and back in the Super Admin. Okay, it's loaded. So just to give you an example of what is a dashboard. So look at this one, the first one, all pending and open work requests. So whatever request, what is a work request is basically a complaint or anything that has been sent from your client. So how many requests are pending and how many are open? It will give you numbers. So 99 requests are pending. Pending means you need to attend them, you need to open them, review them, and process them. Open means to say that you have already approved them, but your team is still working on the issue to get it resolved. Okay, so what could be a work request? So the work request could be, imagine you have a request coming from your client, your customers, that the AC is not working. There is a leakage in the kitchen sink. The AC needs a maintenance to be done, or there is a particular asset that your client is asking for a maintenance job to be done. So these are the work requests that comes in the system, and then when you work on it, it gets approved and converted into a work order. And then the technicians which you have or the people you have, they start working on it. So when it is pending, it means these you haven't attended this request. So it's going to give you a red and it will say that, oh, you have a lot and you need to process and start working on those. So you need to make sure that you need to reduce your pending and you need to keep your open more to show that you're being processing the request. So the next one, let's say for this one, the work request distribution by status. So the work request, how many work requests are approved? 33 are approved. How many are completed? The percentage also shows on the graph how many are pending, how many are cancelled. And these are clickable. So if you click on those, it will actually take you to those requests. So what is more important for you is to attend the pending one. So look at the percentage is 41% are pending. If I click on this, automatically it will direct me to work request and all those work requests which are pending. So I can just quickly see, oh, these work requests I need to attend. AC is not working. Received a request from Mr. Jones for fixing the AC unit. There is a journal breakdown, there is a breakdown, there is a maintenance work. So these kind of requests, I need to attend them, open, review them, and process them quickly. But what I did is I actually saw it from the dashboard itself, and then I jumped and went to check it. Okay, what I'm doing here from the top, you can see this. I can just apply filters. So I want to see all the requests for today. I can just click today and it will give me all the requests. So today, because I just started my day, so I don't have any request at the moment. I want to see for yesterday. If you click, the whole dashboard changes. So yesterday I had 6 requests, which is still pending. Okay, out of 6, only 1 was completed and 6 are yet pending. There are meter reading work orders that I need to do. So if you want to see for this week, you can just select the filter and automatically all these KPIs will change and all the information will give you for this week, for yesterday, for today. So this is how you can apply filter and will sort the information for you. So that's how the dashboard works. If you want for last month, you can just click the last month button and it will give you all the information about last month. So this information we don't have for last month, but we have for the rest of the KPIs. If you want to see a custom range, you can click on the custom button, select according to what you want to select. I want to see it for the last 6 months, last 3 months. You can just select the date range and click on apply. So the custom date range will be applied to all KPIs. You can see that based on the filter that I applied, all the KPIs are changed automatically. And based on that, you can now see, okay, so, okay, this we understood. What is this? This is emergency. How many we have? We have two emergencies. Preventative maintenance, how many jobs do we have? 2. Corrective maintenance, meter reading, reactive maintenance. So it's going to give you a chart of what we have. And again, these are clickable. If you click on this, it will direct you to the actual records. So similarly, work order status by work order distribution by status. So how many are in progress, completed, closed, and scheduled? Okay, how many jobs are in progress right now? How many are already completed by the technicians? Closed mean completely reviewed, customer has given a positive feedback and everything is good and the case is closed. Okay, so that's how many are closed. Schedule means it's already scheduled but work is not yet started. So similarly for PPMs you have, for reactive and corrective work order you can see that how many unplanned jobs you're having and how many planned jobs you're having. So you can see from planned you don't have anything and unplanned you have 100% of jobs which are the unplanned. For the technicians who are busy in doing unplanned work, that means there are a lot of emergencies and breakdowns due to which they are more occupied in doing those jobs rather than the preventative jobs. And what are the new work orders during this date range? How many are closed? How many are completed? How many were reported? How many were fixed? Okay, how many backlog you have? I have around 622 backlogs from this date to this date, and I need to attend them. Okay, these are the corrective are in yellow and preventative maintenance in green, and meter reading work orders are in orange. So this is how you can see the dashboard. How much is your resources being utilized? What is the percentage of resource utilizations? When I say resource utilization, it's basically how many hours are the technician taking from this date range, how much you are, if you're paying them that much of salary, are they being utilized properly or not? So it's going to give you a resource utilization rate. The PPM percentage completion on time, if the PPMs are getting completed on time or they are still pending. So it will give you a percentage and an idea. So similarly, all these KPIs will give you an idea, and even if you see at the bottom of the page, if your assets warranty are expiring, okay, so if there is an asset and you have a warranty expiry, it will give you a notification on the dashboard. Certificate expiry, if your team who is working for you, any of their documents like passport, visa papers, driving license, engineering license, any document that is expiring, it will give you notifications that their certificates are expired. If you click on them, it will direct you to who are those people and which documents are expiring, so I can just talk to the HR and get them renewed. For the warranties as well, if you have assets like a laptop warranty is expiring, or I have this centrifuge machine, or I have this AC unit, the warranty is going to expire, it will give me a notification 1 month before, 3 months before, so I can just renew the warranty papers, or I can just look into what are the things that I need to complete with that assets. Okay, so warranty expiry, it will give you maintenance cost report, is going to give you how much is the labor cost, the item cost, these how much a total cost is costing you for the 19 work orders which are in this date range. Okay, so this is just dummy data. Please, I'm just repeating it again and again. When you start using Aladdin properly, you will get the actual figures. Okay, so this is just to give you an example of how these graphs look like. So when you want to reset, just click on the reset button and all this data will be reset. You can also filter and do the date range for each and every KPI separately. If you want to see yesterday's, you can just apply the filter for each and every KPI separately. You don't have to select for all of them. Okay, so this is a dashboard of the Aladdin, which when you log in into the system, it will give you an idea of what's going on inside the system. Okay, so I hope this is helpful. It's going to help you when you're using it. The next thing that I want to show you are the data entry modules. So what are the data entry modules in Aladdin? We'll just open a small file to just give you an overview of how many modules we have. So in Aladdin, we have data modules, we have operational and maintenance module, contract management modules, reporting module, and support modules. Okay, so we have categorized our modules into these uh, 5 basic titles. So when we say data modules, that means these modules requires data entry, which is asset module, client module, inventory, and personnel. So we need to take this information from you. We need to know what are your assets. We need to make a list of it and put it inside Aladdin. Then we need the client list. If you have your clients, you're going to use client contract management. Give us a client list so we can put it in Aladdin. Inventory, all your spare parts, the items that you're using to do your maintenance work, give us the list so we can put it in Aladdin. Personnel, these people, the technicians or the people who are going and doing the maintenance work, give us the list, their details, and we will put it inside Aladdin. So this is the first step that is required for all of the clients to migrate their data from a different application if they have one. It's called as data migration. If you don't have this data, we need to plan and collect all these data and put it inside Aladdin in order to start working on it. So once the data module is completed, then comes the operational and maintenance module like work request, work order, inspection, PPM, scheduling. So these modules, once you have put the data entry, you can start using these applications, these modules. You can use work requests, work orders, inspections, PPMs, and scheduling. This will not work. O&M modules are not going to work if you don't have data. So we need to make sure that you have these information in blue in order to start working on the O&M modules. We also have contract management module, which is one of the advanced feature that we have. If you are not using, if you don't want to do contract management, you can skip this one and you can only use the O&M modules and the reporting module itself. But if you really want to have contract management, manage your client contracts and your subcontractor contracts, you can do it in the system very easily. We have contracts, we have forms which you can fill and keep track of what are the KPIs and SLAs that you need to take care in order to maintain a contract. Last not the least, reporting module. All these modules which we covered on the top, you can see it on the dashboard and you can generate a report. A report in Excel or PDF can be generated from Aladdin for your presentations, or if you want to give it to your management. The reporting is very easy. All the modules that we have described, you can just click on few filters and you can extract an Excel report. It will help you to analyze the data or use it in your presentations or any meetings. So this is a very important module and it's very helpful for most of the people who are using Aladdin. Then the last one is a supporting module. So we have a small help module if you would like to refer to any manuals, or if you want to read about any FAQs, if you want any kind of help from us, you just need to go to the support module and you will find all that information over there. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. Now what we can do is we'll start from each and every module and I'll just show you a glimpse of what you can do in each and every module. So going back to the Aladdin software, the first one is the asset module. So the whole core process of Aladdin is maintaining your assets. Maintaining the assets, make sure there are no breakdowns and the assets are maintained in a proper way. Okay, so this is the core module of Aladdin and it's very, very important. So assets for every industry could be different. Okay, so if you're coming from different industries, your assets will be different. For me, just to give you an example, I have entered this. This is the list. Okay, by default, it goes to Aladdin list, Aladdin asset list. This is just a sample that I have created: electric kettle, condenser unit, smart TV, cabinet, coffee machine, chiller, iPhone. So these are just a sample asset list that I've created. So what is the information that you can capture in Aladdin when you are adding an asset? What information? Okay, let me open a sample. So I'm just taking this one asset. Okay, in this one asset, I'm going to show you what are the information you can capture. So you have a dedicated QR code. Asset number is a special unique identification number. This QR code is generated basically for printing the tags. So whenever you scan this QR code from your mobile, automatically this all information about the smart TV is going to pop up on your screen. I'm going to demonstrate that later to you. Once we finish the web application, I'm going to show you how you can do that. So what you can see, the name of the asset, you can see the parent asset, the information about if that asset, the smart TV, is connected to some other asset, you can just link it. Otherwise, this is not a mandatory one, but linking of two assets together, that, for example, we have a split AC. So there is an outdoor unit and there is an indoor unit. So we connect that with that. Locations, location 1, location 2, location 3. This is the location of the asset. Where is this smart TV located? The smart TV is located in Marina Plaza. Okay, it is, let's say, for example, let's take a different example. Okay, so this is Dubai Marina on the first floor, office 101. Okay, so you can have 4 levels of locationing of this smart TV. Dubai Marina building, first floor, office 101 in the conference room. So that this TV is located over there. This is to track where the asset is located. We have 4 levels of locationing. Again, for categories, we have 4 levels of categories. It's not important to use all 4 levels. It's not, even for the location, all the 4 levels are not very important. The first one is just an important one. So the first one, we are just selecting the category of the smart TV. Status, if it is an active status, it is lost. It is when it is gone for repair, or it's idle, it's packed and it's not used. So these kind of status you can select for this asset and keep a track of what's happening to your asset in the company. Then what is the information? A small description of the TV you can enter, model number, serial number, a responsibility if it is a property manager responsibility or facility manager. This is for the facility management industry. If they want to use, you can use this option. Which property does it belong to? So this belongs to, for example, Imar property, building number 101. The smart TV belongs to this. What is the condition of this property? It's a critical asset or it's a normal asset. So you just define the criticality of this asset. Okay. You can upload few documents like images of this TV. If you want to see how the TV looks like, you can upload some images over here. We are not restricting you of how many number of images you want to upload or any document you want to upload. You can upload it over here. Then the next thing, what you can update is the documents. So this is very interesting and very important one. Why? Because most of the people, they are storing their documents in the cabinets, and when they want to retrieve those documents, they find it very hard to go through the cabinets and the drawers and the files to find out where the paper is. So if you have a smart TV, you can enter any kind of a document like the warranty papers, the invoice receipt. So what kind of documents you can upload? Warranty paper, purchase receipt, user manual, AMC contract, invoices, tenancy contract. So any kind of document, what you can do is you can upload it over here. So this is actually a document management tool as well. Aladdin is acting as a document management tool where you can upload any kind of documents in the document tab of each asset. So here, it's not limiting you to how many number of documents you can upload. Each document have an issue date and it has an expiry date. If you have a user manual, for example, and it doesn't have an expiry date, it's perfectly fine. You can just enter a future date, 2050, and just leave it. But still, you can retrieve this document. Whenever you enter the smart TV, automatically you can access the warranty paper, invoices, you can see the calibration document, LPOs, any manufacturer warranty, any document that you want to track for this asset, scan it, upload it over here. Okay, you can upload by selecting the file, click on the select file, and automatically you can upload that document in Aladdin. And there is no limit of how many files you can upload. You can upload as many files you want, and it will be archived in this database. So when you want to search, just enter the name or the asset number and the documents could be accessed very easily. The next one is the meters. So for example, there is certain assets for which you want to read the meters. For example, there are some DIVA meters, water reading, electricity reading meters that you want to read. You can actually configure this in the system, and a person from your team can daily go and record the meters in the systems. Okay, so a particular asset, if you're doing their maintenance based on meters, you can just enter the meter reading frequency. You can set settings which will enable you to record the meters in the system. So we have a meter reading facility available for each asset. Purchase information about the asset you can enter: purchase date, acquisition date, unit cost, acquisition cost, useful life year, salvage value. All this information could be captured for the smart TV. Depreciation information: if you are monitoring depreciation of this particular asset along with the finance, you can enter the appropriate information and it can be loaded, and it will give you an idea of when the asset useful life is expired and when the depreciation is achieved. Then the custody of the asset: when the custodian, if who is the department who is responsible for the smart TV, so that you can upload that information. Custom field: any extra information you want to upload, that could be uploaded in the system. If there are any sub assets, like a smart TV already always have a receiver, cable, a remote control, you can sublink it with the sub assets. Work order history: all the work orders that are performed on the smart TV, any kind of jobs, you can access and see what are the jobs and when it were conducted on the smart TV. So this is how the asset information is loaded in the screen. Now the next one is the inventory module. Here, similar to the assets, you have to enter the information about your spare parts. Okay, so for example, I have a thermostat, I have a bulb, screw, wallpaper, chair brush. So this is the information that you have to upload in Aladdin in order to use it while you're doing a maintenance work. What information do you need is item name, any assets that are related to it, manufacturer, supplier details, item cost, what type of an item it is, inventory, carpentry item, how many order quantity is there, what is the stock in your hand, how you can order those quantity. This kind of information can be uploaded in the item tab. Okay, so it's very easy. If you have a very long list of information and you cannot enter this manually one by one, we have a facility of uploading this information in bulk. Okay, for asset as well, if you're having 10,000 assets, 5,000 assets, you can still upload that using an Excel sheet. You don't have to add this information one by one. Okay, so what we have is, we have importing templates. I'm just going to open one sample file just to give you an idea. All the data entry modules have their own templates which you can fill, and automatically all the information is uploaded in bulk. Okay, so you can see this list. Just copy paste all the information in this and you can just upload all your assets in bulk. 10,000 assets, 50,000 assets, 60,000 assets, you can upload it using one Excel sheet. Just fill out the mandatory columns, the red ones, and you can upload it in bulk. The rest of the information you can keep on uploading at a later stage. The red ones are the one which you need to fill in order to start working on Aladdin. Okay, so these Excel sheets are available in the help module. So you just have to upload data file and it's done. Similarly for the inventory, as well, we have, for the spare parts, we have a list where you have to enter spare part number, what type of an item it is, the name of the item, the description, and how much stock do you have, estimated rate of that stock, each an item, how much is the cost, and fill the red ones and you can upload that in bulk. So if you're thinking how I have uploaded all these, I have just copy pasted it in Excel, clicked on the upload data file and it goes uploaded. Okay, so this is how you can create. So when you see items, you can see in items we have, now this bulb is connected to all these assets. So whenever I'm doing a job, it will give me an idea of using this bulb with all these assets. And I have different multiple stores, and each store, how many items I have. In Abu Dhabi store, I have 45. Dubai store, we have 85. So it's going, and the description of the bulb is also mentioned. What is the cost of the bulb? How much is the stock, total stock I have? Even purchasing details, from which supplier I am buying, I'm using a Philips bulb, at what cost I'm buying it from these suppliers, and what is the supplier part number. In order, when I don't have stock and I want to create a purchase request, it will give me an idea of who are the suppliers and from where I'm buying them. Custom fields is just extra 10 fields which give you to record any extra information about the item. So we have here supplier details. You can record all your suppliers over here. Just fill the Excel sheet and upload it in bulk. Similarly, manufacturer details, you can upload in bulk. We have purchase request. If you want to raise a purchase request when your stock is going out of hand, you can just create a purchase request in Aladdin and automatically it will be processed. So we have purchase request for Carrefour, Sharaf DG, and many other suppliers. This is also printable. Let me see if, although it's a dummy database, but let's see if you can print. If you have your proper logos defined, you can also print those documents, purchase requests with all the information. These are customizable. So if you want to customize this according to how you need it, you can talk to our software team and they can get it customized for you with logos and with the fields. Stock replenishment, if you receive a stock, once your purchase request is processed, automatically purchase request number and a record is created in the system. Stock transfer can be done when you want to move some items from one store to another store. You can create a request in the system and then you can keep a record of it. Item issue and return. This means whenever there's a work order, you can issue an item to that work order, and when the work order, if the item is not used, that item can be returned back to the store. So this is to keep a track of how many jobs we have where I have used a spare part. So this will give you an idea of when the spare parts are going out of the system, the technicians are using them, not using them, or misplacing them. This will give you a record of that. So once we are done with assets, we are done with inventory, we can come to the personnel module. In the personnel module, here you need to enter the people who are working for you. So here I'm just entering dummy information like the crew 1, crew 2, Mr. Rahim, Mr. Andrew, Mr. Mark. He's an in-house crew member, he's an active employee, he's an inspector. So I'm also defining the skills of this particular person. If I open, what I can do is I can enter his employee number, address, phone number, username, password, I can control it. Skills, he's a carpenter, electrician, IT, inspector. So his salary, his shift timings, everything could be defined in Aladdin. And yeah, here is the document management for this person. You can enter his driving license, passport details, visa documents, Emirates ID, any other document which is you want to store in Aladdin, just scan it and upload it here. If it is near to expiry, it will give you notification on the dashboard. So this is similar to the asset module, which will give you notification on the dashboard itself. Shift timings, if he's working in morning shift, afternoon shift, leaves, if he's on sick leave, annual leave, all this information could be uploaded in Aladdin itself. SLAs, if this guy is connected to a contract management, you can see his performance on each and every contractual basis. So once we are done with entering the information, we can now move to the work order module. Okay, so the work order module, which I have told you, is the operational and maintenance module. So very quickly, I will just show you how you can do it. So what happens in work order? Normally a request is usually raised. So for example, this is a request that we have created. This is a request. A journal breakdown of the asset fixing is required. Okay, this is a request that has been created by one of our client who is requesting for a breakdown. Okay, so let's just make it. Okay, so for example, there is AC issue, AC maintenance issue. Okay, AC is not working or water is leaking from the AC. This is the issue that has been reported by one of our client, and we need to process this request. So what happens in Aladdin is once the request comes into the system, you need to review all the information. You can see that person has by mistakenly selected a laptop. So we need to filter it and select the correct asset. Okay, so I've selected the correct asset and I'm going to approve this request. Okay, so this request is created. I'm going to click on the approve button. Automatically, this work request is converted into a work order. Okay, so this is a work order. In the work order form, I'm going to just schedule this work order. I'm copy pasting the same order description. This is the asset details. I want to see if this asset is under any contract. If it is, it will display over here. If not, I can just say there is an emergency and I want to schedule a job on this tomorrow. Tomorrow, crew number 1 is going to work on this AC because there is a breakdown. The priority is critical, very high. Failure type is an AC failure. Okay, do I need an inventory item? Yes, a FCU fan coil unit will be good for fixing it. One quantity will be fine. This information is fine. This is work request type AC. How much is the estimated time that it is required to do this job? I think 1 hour is good enough. Travel time is how much time the person is going to take to go to this particular location. Is going to take 1 hour. All right. There is a document that I have uploaded and I'm going to click on the save button. So what I actually did is I have scheduled this AC unit work order. This is the AC unit and this is the work order that I have scheduled it and given it to a crew technician. So what happens now? The technician, how is he going to see this work order? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect my phone to give you an idea on how the crew member is going to see this in his phone. Okay, I'm just connecting my phone and we are going to log in as a technician to see this AC unit job, how it's going to show us in the phone. We usually give only phones access to the technicians because they usually are on the field, so they need to just use the Aladdin application on the phone itself in order to do the job. So we have 3 applications, 3 mobile application: Inspection, Aladdin, and Requester. Requester is for the requesters who wants to log a request. We have seen that we have created a request from the system, but if you want to create a request from the app, you can do it using the Requester mobile application. So here is the Aladdin app for the crew technician. So I'm going to enter the email address very quickly for this crew member. Okay, this crew member, I will log in from his account because we need to see this work order that we have created. Okay, so once the crew logs in into the phone, he will see the dashboard. This is the dashboard. All the red ones are the jobs that are allocated to him. Okay, the green ones are the one where he has completed his jobs, so there he doesn't have anything. The white ones are the ones where he doesn't have any work. So we scheduled this work order for tomorrow. So if you click on 21, you can see this work order for the AC unit. The AC is breakdown issue in the building. AC is not working and water is leaking. This is the same one we created here in the laptop. See, if you see this one, the emergency one, this is the one we created, and this he can see from his phone. So what is he going to do? He has an emergency. He's going to open this one. So open this one. What is he going to do? He's going to read all the information which is mentioned by his manager. He needs to fix it. This is in their building. This is an AC failure. It's an emergency. It's quite critical. There is an attachment as well. I can look into the attachment. I need to take one spare part. All right, fine. When I go for the job, I'll start. I have to finish this in 60 minutes. Travel time is also 60 minutes and it's assigned to me. Okay, fine. So for example, I have to start working on this. What am I going to do? I'm going to start traveling. I have to go to the client's office or the client's area. I will start the travel time. This is going to record of how much time I usually take from my place to go to the client's premises. So once I've reached, I have to stop the travel. And now, once I'm near the asset, near the AC, I can start working on it. So when I click on the start button, automatically the work order duration is calculated. So now the person can keep the mobile aside and start working on fixing the AC. Now he's taking his time and he's going to fix the AC. Once the AC is fixed, he's going to click on the complete button. But if he finds that there is another issue with the AC, he's going to keep it on hold. He can keep it on hold and he will put a reason that I need a spare part, or maybe the AC is critical and he needs more time to fix it, or he needs some other spare part to fix it, he can keep it on hold. But if he's already working on it and everything is fine and he's going to resolve the issue, so he can just keep the start timer running. Once he has completed the job, he needs to click on the complete button. Once the job is completed, automatically the completion form is here. The person can just fill the form, give a remarks of good job done, enter his mobile number to be contacted, even the name of the person can be entered in the system, and then just click on the update button and you can give the rating to this guy. If he has done a good job, given the rating, click on the submit button and the job is completed. So what happens once he has completed the job, he got the rating, automatically you can see the status notification on the laptop. The manager is notified that this job is completed. How he can check? He can just click on this and automatically he can check the work order. All right, he has already got a 5-star. That's perfectly fine. That's very good. This is the time he has taken. This is the signature. Let me see the service report. Okay, click on the service report and what he can see is the signature of the client that the job is completed and the ratings. The job is fine, everything is. He can review this information. I'm just going to save this report on my laptop. This is a work order service report. AC breakdown issue. So within seconds, it's not even taking any time. All this asset information, where it is located, spare part information that is being used, customer info, customer signature, customer remarks. If there is any images, it will come at the bottom. You can take the images of the AC and it will be uploaded. If you don't want to take images, that's perfectly fine, no issues. So the service report is generated. You can use your own logo and your own address, and you can customize your service report as well. So this is done, we are good to go. This is how work order works. You can use it from your phone. So what I was telling you that it can also raise request from the mobile application. If you are using a mobile application, there is a requester application as well. So you can give this to your clients. When you give requester application to your clients, they can just click on the plus button over here. Okay, they can scan an asset. So if you have done asset tagging, for example, I have done asset tagging, then the QR codes are generated. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a sample of the QR codes that are generated from the assets. So if you can see on my screen, these are the sample asset code. So what happens? Using the phone on here, the camera, you just have to bring this camera close to the screen in order to scan the QR code. When you scan the QR code, automatically it will give you the information on the asset. Let me try. When I scan the asset, automatically it gives me an information that it is a booster pump. What do you want to do? You want to view the information or you want to create a work request? Let me do it again. You want to view the details? You can just click and you can see the details about this particular asset from the phone. See, so I have loaded it in the phone. I can see the information, location, custody, custom field, any active work requests that are going on. I can see it from the phone by simply scanning the tag, and the tag is usually located on the machine. So, but if I want to create a work request as a customer, as your client, how I'm going to do it? Click on the plus button again, scan the asset again. So I'm going to scan this one. And it says create a work request. Click on create work request and automatically I just have to fill few columns. This is critical. Here you can see critical, problem description, AC not working. I'm doing this from my phone. Attachment. Do you want to add any attachment? You can just click and add any attachment. You can take a picture. You can also record a message. So you're using your mobile, you can record a message. Okay, this is 18 AC maintenance and you can click on create button. That's it. Click a picture, describe the problem, and in the pending, the AC not working issue can be reported. From the phone itself, you can see how many are approved, how many are pending, cancelled, completed, scheduled, in progress, closed, or on hold. So using the phone itself, you can easily do that. So what I did is I created it using a scanning an asset, but I don't want to do it. I can just record a message. When you click on this, hi, my name is Faryal. I want to report an issue in my house. My AC is not working. So please can you send a technician in the morning time to get it fixed. Stop the button and the recorded message is uploaded. Again, you can add images, you can enter the information and click on create button, and automatically a work request is created. Okay, it will be in the pending state. Once your work request is approved, it will come into the approved section and you can see which are the work requests which are approved. Okay, so similarly, you can take a picture and create a request, or you can simply create a request by clicking on the plus button and you can create a request. So once these requests are created in the system, what happens is it comes to the manager in the work request on the laptop, where he sees all these requests and see which is pending, which is approved, and then approve them and create a work order. So once the work order is created, the crew member will get notified on the mobile. He will open his application and he will see what kind of emergency work he is having, which are the ones he has completed, which is pending. All these green ones are completed. All the dark green ones are the one which is closed. This is the one which is scheduled. So he can just open this work order, review all the information, click on the start button, start doing his job. When he does his job and everything is fine, he can just click on the stop button. The job is completed. He can just ask the guy or the client who is there to just enter the signature, the remarks, and click on the update form. He's been rated and the work order is closed. So it's very quick. And similarly here in the system, when I refresh my page, I get notified that the job is completed. So you can see this is a notification that came that the job is already completed for the AC compressor. So this is how it works. If you want to raise quotation and invoicing, you can raise quotations for each work order. If you need to create invoices, you can do that also from here. This is a very easy process. You just need to enter what kind of invoice you want to enter and you can create this one. I don't have any samples at the moment, but it's very easy. If you have work orders where you need to raise a quotation to the client, it can be done automatically before the work order is in process. So the next one very quickly is the PPM module. So you have understood the work order module. Similarly, we have PPM. In the PPM, what you do is you create your settings that I want to do changing of oil of the car on the monthly basis, or you have to do it on a running kilometer basis. So we have meter based PPM and we have a time based PPM. If you want to do PPMs, preventative maintenance of an asset, once in a month, twice in a month, or once in a quarter, once in a year, you can just define the setting in the system and automatically the work orders are generated. Okay, so these are the same work orders, similar to the normal work orders, but these are the work orders which are done using the checklist. So we have, if I can open one example, the difference between normal work order and a PPM work order is that you have instruction checklist. Okay, in the checklist you have step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So you need to follow these steps in order to perform the job. This checklist could be added in the system. For changing of oil, these are the steps. For FCO minor PPM, these are the steps. Remove the cover, remove the filter. For kitchen laundry equipment PPM, laptop PPM, refrigerator PPM. So these are just an example of the checklist that I have uploaded. So whenever you have PPM, all you have to do is select the checklist, select the asset, and get this scheduled to the crew member on appropriate date and time. If you want to do it daily, once daily, you want to do it once in a month, once in a quarter, you can just define it in the system and automatically the work orders are generated. The work order generation for the PPM can also be done on meter reading. So for example, we have a meter for, like I gave you an example of oil, changing of oil. So that doesn't happen every month or every quarter. It happens on the running kilometers. So whenever the car reaches 5,000 kilometers, you need to change the oil. So how you're going to do it, you need to define the system that whenever the reading reaches 5,000 kilometers, then the oil has to be changed and a work order has to be generated for doing the PPM. That is changing the filter, changing the oil. That has to be done only when I reach a threshold value. So similarly, some of the asset will have a certain temperature. For example, the temperature reaches between 30 degrees, 40 degrees, then we have to do a PPM. So we have a capability of defining this in our system as well. Then last not the least, we have the scheduling. The scheduling is basically the calendar of the whole company, which will give you that how many jobs are being scheduled in each and every month and on each and every day. So on 1st, I have this job, on 8th, I have this job I have on 22, this job on 28. The green ones, the green basically means that it is less than 100% planned and I have a capacity of adding more work orders. Okay, so this is the calendar of the company that I can see. On a day view also, if I click on a day, I can see at 12 to 1, I have 6 to 7, 6 to 8, 9 to 10, I have. So this is going to give you a day view. And a week view, you can see how many work orders you have from Sunday to Saturday. Okay, and how many hours do I have and how much utilization rate of each personnel I'm utilizing. Okay, so you can see if you go down, the day starts at 8 a.m. and this is how I'm performing my jobs. You can do it on the monthly basis again. You can see for the previous month, just click on this button, it can go into the May. Don't have anything in the May. For April, I have. For the month of March, I had all these jobs. Okay, so you can see the calendar of how much you're occupied and where are you free, where you can allocate and plan and schedule more jobs. So I can see by the end of the month, I don't have much work. So if I have more work coming up, I can plan it in the end of the week. Similarly, you can see the calendar of the person also. So for example, I want to see the calendar of crew number 1 or the technician number 1. So I can see on 20th, he's fully planned. This person does not have more space or more work orders that he can take on 20th of Feb. So that's why the color is changed to red. Otherwise, the rest of the days, he's free and he has capacity to take up more work orders. Let's take crew number 2. The crew number 2 is really free. He doesn't have any work. So likewise, you can just select the crew member to see the calendar of that particular person of if he's occupied or if he's free, and you can plan the work order. So similarly, how you can do the planning and scheduling of the work orders, you can open the same calendar in the scheduling window as well. So you can see these from the top, these are the jobs that I have. Okay, these are the job. Electric kettle not working, condenser unit not working. I need to schedule these work orders. I need to see the calendar first. Where am I free? Okay, I can do the smart TV service on 24th. Let me drag it and drop it on 24 and I can do this job on 24. Similarly, condense unit, you can just drag it and drop it and you can do this job on that particular day. Okay, so just refresh. And a week view also you can see, and a monthly view you can see. You can just drag these and you can put it anywhere where you want to reschedule it. Okay, so it is possible. If you don't want to work on it, you can just click on the cross button and this job will be unscheduled. Okay, you can just click on it and the job will be unscheduled. It's very easy. Just click on it and the job will be unscheduled. Or you can move it front and back. On rescheduling, the personnel will be deallocated and you need to assign it again. Okay, so scheduling inside the window of scheduling, it's very easy. You can just use this grid and do the planning and see which person is busy, where is the time slot I have, and where I can move the work around and make it easier. If I want to make this person remove the load from him, I can unschedule some of the jobs so he can have more time to do the other jobs. So this is how scheduling works. Now, last not the least, the client module, if you're managing contracts, I'll not go much detail because this is a very advanced module of Aladdin, but this is the place where you can enter the details of your clients. Like I have these clients, MR Properties, I have SG Properties, SG Real Estate, Akbar Properties. These are the properties that I'm managing, and for each properties, I have contracts that I am managing. So if I open this client, so for this client, I have contracts. So I have a maintenance contract, 1 year manpower maintenance contract, and this is the value of it. So if I open this contract, I can see all the details of this contract, maintenance contract, which are the properties I'm managing. Is they are building in Barsha, the contract value, when is the contract going to start, it's a 12 months contract, and when it's going to end. Okay, all this information. What are the assets I am managing for this particular client? These are the assets. What are the services that I'm providing? I'm doing security, housekeeping, and MEP maintenance. Who are the people that are working for me in this contract? Crew 1, 2, and 3. These are dedicated to work on this contract. Budget analysis, budget planning could be done. How much you are allocating the budget for each and every service could be segregated and mentioned over here. And work orders that are performed on those assets will be displayed in this tab. What are the items? The SLA scoring slab, you can enter, you have to create your own KPIs based on the contract you have in order to get these graphs to see what is the target score has been achieved or not. And similarly, based on those, the payout slab can also be calculated. So you want to see if they are achieving their SLAs, what will be the payout slab accordingly. So I'm defining it over here, 90%, 100% payout if they are achieving 90%, 70% if they are achieving 80%. This is defined based on the contract. Okay, so you can manage the contract of your clients in Aladdin. Similarly, the contracts of your subcontractors can also be managed in Aladdin. So these are my subcontractors. Okay, contractor 1, contractor 2, and they are doing jobs for me. For example, it could be CCTV camera or fire alarm system. These kind of jobs these contractors are giving me. So these contracts can also be managed like the kinds, same assets, personnel, budget, work order history. So this can also be recorded in Aladdin itself. Last not the least, the reporting module. As I told you, we have a reporting module. So if you want to generate a report based on what you have done in Aladdin, you can do that very easily. All you have to do is click on the report module. You want to generate a report on work order, work request report. How many work requests are coming? Just select the date and time and you can extract a report in the Excel format. You can see work order maintenance cost report. So what is the work order maintenance cost report? This will going to give you the work order number, how much estimated time I have taken, what is the actual time that the technician has taken, the labor cost, the spare part cost, and the total maintenance cost. Okay, so it's going to calculate this based on the actual time that has been taken to do the job. Okay, I'll just refresh it again. All you have to do is you need to click on the Excel button and this report will be generated. You can do it by selecting, I want the report from 1st of April until 20th of April. Click on the apply button and it will only give you what are the work orders that you have done in this particular date range. Okay, you can see I want a filter. I want to apply a filter and only see the work orders that are emergency work orders. I want to see only preventative work orders. That also you can select and apply a report. And when I click on this button, it will download an Excel file, save it in the system, open the file, and it is the same, this data or the information is captured in the Excel sheet. So it is very customizable. You can apply filters accordingly and then you can generate a report on that. So see, this is a report that has been generated. So similarly, report on PPMs. You can generate a report on PPM summary report. You can generate a PPM summary report as well. I'm just loading this. I have other pages open. So these work order reports, whatever you have done in the system can automatically be generated from the reporting module. Okay, so we have reports on work order, we have it on personnel. If you want to see the certification expiry report, personnel utilization report, you can just click on this and automatically it will give you an idea of how much working hours is being utilized. So the total capacity of this person is 240 hours, but I have actually used him only for 0.03%. That's why my utilization rate is very low. Okay, so based on the crew members who are actually doing the jobs, you can calculate the utilization rate of these employees. Similarly, the certification expiry, any document of that person is expiring, you can just view it from here and see, okay, this person is expiring in 22, 21, this is all, this AMC, 1 year AMC is already expired. I need to look into this. This is a reference number. So document management is also taken care in Aladdin. Asset module, if you see asset, you can generate an asset report, which is a simple asset report. Maintenance cost report. Maintenance cost report is basically giving you each and every asset, how much was the item cost, labor cost, and the total cost. Okay, so this AC compressor, okay, I have done a job. The item cost me 248, labor cost was 0, but the total cost is 248. So similarly, this was a different job that I have done. Item cost was 45, labor cost was 4.87, and the total maintenance cost was 49.87 for the AC compressor, this one. These are 3 AC compressors, but all of them are different. Okay, so they are not similar. There are many AC compressors, but at different location. So you can see this one, this asset, 1005 item cost, 231 labor cost, and this is a total maintenance cost. So you can just search for the asset. Okay, in which building I want to just see my asset in Al Shuala building. Show me all the assets. Okay, then you can select your asset and click on apply, and then you can see how much was their maintenance cost. Okay, so this is very useful and handy, and you can click on extract button and take it in an Excel sheet. Okay, it will give you the correct location, the cost, and how much total cost you have used to maintain this asset. Then what is the interesting asset transfer report, asset reconciliation report. You can generate asset depreciation, asset disposal report. These are the features that we have for assets. Inventory also, you can have spare part report, store-wise spare part report, purchase request report, spare part work order report. This is an interesting one. So each and every work order, I'll just minimize this. Each and every work order, how many spare part have you used? So this work order, I have used rubber insulation. This is a spare part number. I have used it 1, and 14 dirhams was the cost that I have utilized. So you can see for each asset, which work order, which spare part was used. So this is called as the spare part work order report, okay, which will give you how much spare part has been utilized. So if you see this one, this is a chiller, and I have used 5 screws for this, and the rate is 19 dirhams. Okay, so this is how the work order spare part report is generated. What are the different reports? Even for contract, you can generate contract budget report. At the moment in this, I haven't uploaded a correct one, but you can generate a contract budget report in this and a contract actual report. Okay, so you can select which subcontractor you're dealing with, which contract you're dealing with, and you can generate a report on the budget itself. Okay, let me select if it can show. So Aladdin is giving you the flexibility. So this is a contract that I have selected. The contract title, start date, end rate, value, budget, and how much is the services and how much cost has incurred for this particular contract. Okay, if you want details, you can select details and you can apply. Date range also could be applied if you apply the date range, or it will give you for that particular date. Otherwise, this is the detailed report of which jobs you have done and how much you're going to charge them according to the contract that we have managed. So this is where we have completed the report as well. The reports have many other reports that you can use, but I've just shown you some basic reports which are useful and handy. Last not the least, as I told you, we have a help module. There is FAQs. There is these importing templates where you can directly import all the information in bulk. And then you have the user manuals where you can keep a track of what If you have any information where you have forgotten about some module, you can just refer the manuals and then you can use it. So last thing, very quickly, I've already exceeded my time. I apologize for that. I'm going to show you the manager mobile application. The same window that you see on the screen at the back, you can, as a manager, I can see the same thing in my phone as well. Okay, just log in. So I'm logging on my phone as a manager in case I'm not sitting in front of my laptop and I want to see it on my phone. So you can see now I have loaded this on my phone. This is the same dashboard that is reflecting in the laptop. The same dashboard reflects in the mobile as well. Okay, as a manager, I can see the whole dashboard on my phone as well. And similarly, I can see all these applications: work order, scheduling, personnel, assets, reconciliation, transfer, inventory. I want to see my assets. Click on the asset, select the location that I want to see and filter the assets. So I can just click on the filter button and I can see how many assets I have. This is quite similar to the asset module. Work order. Okay, I can see which are the work orders which are completed, which are the new ones, which is scheduled, which is closed. And you know, it's just so easy. If you click on this red button, automatically it will apply a filter of new till date. So all the new work orders, it will be sorted. Now, all the new, I want to see only the corrective. Click on corrective and I can see corrective, I only have two. So this is the filters that I'm applying and it is sorting it out automatically. If I want to remove, I can just remove this. Okay, I want to see all the closed. Click on the close button and I can see all the closed work orders. Okay, so this is very easy. Similarly, work request. Click on work request and I can see how many work requests are pending. Click on pending and all these work requests are pending. So if I want, I can also manage these work requests using my mobile phone. I can just click them, go at the bottom, review all this information and change the status to approve. So whatever I can do on the laptop, I can do it on the phone as well, and I can create this. But I usually recommend most of the managers to use a laptop because it's an extended flexibility, but you will not be able to see the whole screen. You need to keep scrolling up and down. But if it is easy for you, then you don't have any issues. You can create work orders and everything in the mobile phone as well. All you need to do is you need to have an active internet connection in order to create a work order, in order to approve a work order, or in order to see the calendar. So here, let me see the scheduling. So this is the calendar of the company and I can see this is what is happening and how many work orders are there for each and every day. I can just click on the day and I can see what are the jobs that are in progress, scheduled, closed. Okay, what else I can do? I can see the personnel information. Who are my team member? Mr. Ahmed in Riyadh, Mr. Ahmed in Dubai, Andrew, contractor 1, contractor 2, contractor 3, all the information. I can just click and see the basic information of the employee, the skills, and the certifications. Okay, the certification is basically his document, his passport, his Emirates ID, his driving license, anything for that person. If I have uploaded in Aladdin, I can just see it over here. Okay, so we'll go back. What else? Reconciliation request. If I want to reconcile my asset, those requests will also be visible over here. Asset transfers, any assets that you're transferring from one location to another location, that will also be visible in the system itself. So you can see what are the assets that are transferred from location or custody wise, and you can track them very easily. Okay, what else? Inventory, the spare parts that we have in all the stores, you can do it. You can apply a filter on the top and you can select whichever store. I want to see the spare parts of Sharjah store. I want to see the spare parts of basement store. So you define it and the store is selected and you can see the spare parts that are available. Similarly, the supplier details, manufacturer details, you can see it in the system and with the proper details if you have entered. Okay, this is the manager mobile application or the admin application where you can see all this information. Profile details, your profile details, what is your name, what is your details that could be seen. Notifications, I don't have any notification at the moment, but if you have any notifications, it will be popped up on the screen. Settings, user agreement, privacy policy, and an option to choose language. So if you want to see it in Arabic, just click the Arabic and automatically the information will be loaded in Arabic. Okay. The information, the numbers will be loaded in Arabic information. So I want to tell you that Aladdin is a very easy application to use. You can give the access to your clients using the mobile. We have 3 applications available. Inspection is for our inspection business, which we are not selling, but Aladdin application for the manager, and Aladdin application, the requester application for the requesters, where they can manage all their requests. Okay, so there are 2. You just need to purchase few licenses and you get the access to Aladdin web application and Aladdin mobile application as well. So this is where we have completed the demo of the website. I'm opening the question answer window at the moment. If you have any questions related to what we have covered, if you have any suggestions, anything you're looking in Aladdin, you can just type it in your question in the question box. If it is in my knowledge and I am able to answer you, I will answer you back. If there is something you're talking about or you're looking for a feature, if I don't know the information, I can check with the software team and I'll get back to you on that one. So the question option is open. For those people who have joined a little late, the question option is located in GoToWebinar control panel. Just click on the question option and you can type any of your questions you have related to the software. So the window is open for this. Okay, I've opened the question option. Please type your questions if you have, and let me know if I'm able to answer you. If you found this useful, if you have any feedback about the whole session that we have, if you think Aladdin is useful, if you want to have a separate discussion, I'll just mention my email address. I've entered my email address in the chat box. If you would like to send me an email separately about the session today, or if you have any other question where you want to have a separate discussion with our experts, I can get it arranged for you. Please take down the email address. And for now, I'm just taking the live questions if you have. There is a question from one attendee. I'm not going to take the name of the attendees. This is what my policy is. I just read the question. If the question is useful for everyone, it might be answered. So there is a person who's asking that if we have a customer that requires on-premise solution, is that possible? Yes, on-premise solution, if it is a requirement from your client, we do that on-premise solution as well. For that, if you are interested in more information, I can get you connected to our support technical development team, and they can explain you the process of how you can do it on on-premise solution. Next question, can we enter mobile numbers from different countries in the system? Yes, you can do that. As I told you, and maybe I have missed out, but in SuperAdmin, we have an option to configure the company according to a different time zone. So you can select the time zone or you can select the country, and according to that, the mobile numbers could be entered based on that country. So that's not an issue. There is a question, how many types of user can use mobile app? How many? All type of users. All type of users can use a mobile application if you want to give them a mobile access. If you want to have the manager to have a mobile access, he can have a mobile access. If you want your clients, your requesters to have mobile access, they can have mobile access. You can give your crew technicians to have mobile access, they will have mobile access. But the difference is who can have the laptop access. So only and only the managers, the admins, and your clients can have a laptop access. Okay, so the technicians, the people who are doing the maintenance work, they only have mobile access and they don't have laptop access. Because what we have seen a practice in this industry is they usually don't sit in the office, they don't usually have a laptop or a computer. So usually we don't give them that access on the computer. We only give them, if you buy a license from us, we give them an access on the mobile phone itself. I hope the question is answered. There is one question, difference between crew and requester in mobile application. That's a very good question actually. So what is a crew? The crew are your people who are doing the maintenance work. Okay, the carpenters, the technicians, electricians, the painter. These are the people, we call it, the Aladdin people are calling it as a crew. Okay, the people who are doing the jobs, who will go and fix the AC, who will do the paint jobs, who will do the plumbing jobs. These people are called as the crew. Okay, and the mobile application that we give to the crew is different because they can open the work orders and they can work on it. Okay, so let me log in into the crew mobile application. Okay, so the crew mobile application will use this Aladdin app, and the requester will use as this requester application. Okay, in the requester application, this person who is having the requester are basically your clients. Okay, so your clients is going to send you complaints. Okay, to make it very easy, these are the one who are going to keep on sending you complaints that the AC is not working, please, the coffee machine is not working, please do a maintenance for the AC, come and do something. So these are the people who will just open the mobile application and they will just raise a request. Okay, so they will just type the request and they will raise it and they will leave it, and they will wait for you to approve this request and give it to the technician. Okay, so this is the requester, this is the requester application. This person can see what are the requests he has raised, and if his request is approved, if his requests are completed, is scheduled or not. Okay, so this requester is a person who is sending request. He cannot do anything else but to send you a request. But when I say crew application, so what can a crew do? A crew is actually working on that job. Okay, so I'm going to log in as a crew technician on the mobile. We use a different app for the crew. Okay, so the one which I'm logging, now the crew will see his calendar. Now I am a crew and I have to do my job, which is a maintenance job. So I will see my calendar and I will see, okay, on 19, I have to fix the electric kettle. I have to check the temperature, I have to take the reading. Then I have to do reading of the condenser unit. Then I have to do this work. So these are the jobs. He needs to go there and perform this job and fix the issues. Okay, so he's going to see his calendar and see what are the jobs that has been given to him, and he will work on it. But this crew member also have a flexibility to raise a request. Okay, crew can also raise a request. So for example, I am a technician, I went to this client and he's telling me, okay, you're fixing my AC, but my fridge is also not working, please fix my fridge also. So the crew is going to tell you, no sir, I only came to fix your AC, but what I can do is I can create a request for you. I will scan the asset, I will create a request for you for your fridge. Okay, and somebody else, a different technician will come. Okay, so he can raise a request saying that I came to fix the AC, but this guy have another issue, so please get that issue resolved. So this is the difference between the crew and the requester mobile application. Okay, so the crew application looks like a dashboard where he can work on the jobs that is being allocated to him. But the requester is the person, his dashboard looks like this, and he's the only raising request. Raise a complaint, send it to you. Raise a complaint, send it to you. Okay, and then he can track whichever the complaints are being approved, which are cancelled, which is completed. That's it. He can only see this information. He cannot do anything. So for example, this is completed. He can just open and see the history. Okay, pending, scheduled, approved, and completed. That's it. So I raised a request that AC is not working, but this is now completed. Okay, I can give him the rating, click on this. Okay, good job. He has completed the AC request. Good. Okay, so this is the requester mobile application. So I hope this is clear. For the person who asked, if it is not clear, please let me know if it is going, if there is any other question. Okay. Please show me the dashboard of the crew. Okay, this is the dashboard which I showed you is for the requester. This is the dashboard. He can only see, when he logs in, he can only see approve, pending, cancel, completed. That's it. And if you say the crew member, this is the dashboard. The calendar. So on first, if I click on first, he have this work. On first, he has to, this is scheduled at 12:17. This guy has to do this job. 9 a.m. he wants to do this job. 9 a.m. he has to do this job. So this is the dashboard for the crew. Okay, so I hope this is clear. There is a question asking, each crew is going to see the request that is related to him? Yes. If you are selecting a particular crew, he will only see his request. He cannot see the request of his colleague. So crew 1 can only see crew 1. Crew 2 can only see crew 2. Only a manager who is controlling all these people, they are the one who's going to see the whole calendar of the whole crew. They can see all the requests. But individual crew is only going to see his individual work request. That's it. Only on his mobile phone, because he does not have an access on the laptop, so he's not going to see it. Okay, there is one more thing that I want to highlight. In the mobile application of the crew, there will be a possibility that there will be work order on which two people are working together. Okay, not every time one person is going to work. So here you can see this personnel, this only crew 1 is working on this. So there will be a possibility that there could be crew 2 people working on it or 3 people working on this job. So if the manager selects 3 people, then 3 people can see that there are 3 people working on this. Okay, and this is only limited to one particular job. So for example, I have a paint job and I cannot do it alone. I have 3 people who has to do the painting of a room. So there will be 3 people which will display over here, crew 1, crew 2 and crew 3. So then these people can see each other only in this work order. For the rest of the work order, they cannot see any other information. Okay, so it is private to each and every crew member that how many jobs are allocated to each and every person. So I hope that's clear. Any other questions? Any other questions related to Aladdin? I think I have answered most of them, but I'm still waiting if there's any other questions. Okay, one question popped up again to the same subject, which is if there are multiple crew working on the same task, then who can complete the work order? So the last person who is working on it is the person who can complete the job. Okay, so again, let me open my mobile application. So here, if I have 3 people working on this job, the first person has completed, so the status will change to completed. Then the second person, the status will change to completed. Then the third person, the status will change to completed. Then this work order is completed. If any of the crew member is not completing the task, the whole work order will be pending. But you can still, as a manager, see that it is pending from whom. It is pending from crew 1, it is pending from crew 2, or it is pending from crew 3. Okay, so as a manager, I can track which person is not working on it or which person have already completed it. But for this whole work order to close, to be completed, all 3 of them has to complete the job. Otherwise, the work order will not be completed. Okay, even though if they're clicking on the complete button, but the other members are not completing the job, the status of the work order will be still pending, or it will be in progress. Okay, if they are working on it and they have not completed it, it will be in progress and it will be pending. So I hope this is clear. Any other questions? There is a question from a person who's asking how many super admin access you can give. We only have one super admin access that is given to only one person, which you will decide who will handle it. Because super admin is related to user access management. You're managing the username and password. So if you have an IT team, we can give it to an IT team. But if you don't have an IT team, one of the maintenance manager can take care of the username and passwords. We can train that one person and he can handle this one. But we cannot give you multiple accesses because for safety reasons, if many people are working on super admin at the same time, then it won't work perfectly. So it is only one license, one access that we give to only one person, and that person can manage the super admin. Any other questions? If you have any other questions related to Aladdin software, web application, mobile application, please type it down and I can get it answered for you. For those people who want to leave the session and they are satisfied, that's perfectly fine. You can leave the session. I'm sorry I have exceeded the time, but there's a lot of information that I wanted to convey and show you in detail to make sure that you know what Aladdin is about. There are some people asking me if they can get a recorded copy of this demo. Okay, let me check with the marketing department. The session is actually recorded, but if you're looking for a recording, you can get in touch. You can send me an email. I'll talk to the marketing team if they have a copy of the recording and they can share it. We will send it across to you. Otherwise, we have a YouTube channel as well. There are some of the videos that are already uploaded of some of the sessions that I have conducted earlier. So if you want to watch those, those are a little bit in detail. It might go up to 2 hours, I think. So you can check that video. If you're looking for this particular specific video, send me an email and I will speak to my marketing team and they can send you a copy of it. Any other questions on today's session? This demo will be uploaded in YouTube. I'm not quite sure about it. Let me check with the marketing. If they are uploading this to YouTube, we will send out a link to everyone who attended today if they want to watch it again. If you're especially looking for it and we're not uploading it, still send me an email and I will ask the marketing team to send you a copy of this video. So I hope you found Aladdin useful. It's a very easy software, to be very honest. It takes a little time and practice. If you start using it, then only you can have a hands-on experience on how it's working. I know I have been doing demos for a long time. That's where it's easy for me to say this, but I can assure you I have other clients which I have trained and they have picked up on Aladdin very quickly. So you don't have to have so much knowledge on how it works. You just have to apply your work in Aladdin and you just need to remember where you have to click correctly in order to use it well. You have to ask your team to use it, you have to use it yourself, and everything get digitalized in the system itself. So you have email notifications, you have status notifications, everything. There's a lot of other things that I have not covered. I've just covered the major things. But if you go in depth details and if we have a discussion, I can show you how many other things, what other service reports could be customized. You can add images. There are many things that you can do in Aladdin if there is a requirement. So if you are interested, drop an email to the sales team. I can also add another email address if you need further information on the pricing. If you want to meet a sales expert, that person can give you further information on this one. I'm not from the sales department, so my point of view of explaining Aladdin is totally different. I'm just explaining you of how it can be useful to you. For the licensing part and the costing, you need to get in touch with a sales expert who can give you a proper quotation based on how much is your requirement. So I hope it's all clear. I'm not receiving any further question on the session today. I would like to thank you all who have attended today. Ramadan Mubarak to everyone. If you have any questions, my email is mentioned in the chat box. I hope you found this demo useful. If you would like to have a chat with us, drop us an email and somebody from the team can get in touch with you. I'll try to conduct another session in next month. We will share the dates if you're interested, and you can attend a session again next month. Meanwhile, if you need to know more about our company, the website is also, I have already given you that you can check our website for more details and get in touch with us. So that's all from my side. I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking time out and attending the session. I hope you found it useful. If you want to get in touch, please drop us an email. So I'll wrap up the session for now. I hope you have a good day today, and I can see you next time. Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead.